Jessica Ditto joining us from the White House. Jessica, great to have you with us.
Good morning, John, and hopefully we'll be able to brighten the mood with our conversations.
I know,
the dreary weather that surrounds us.
Another crummy day. It's like, what is up with this in this area? It's like I do the weather every day. It's like rain, clouds. We want some sun and some neat things. Okay, the administration coming out with a really, really interesting plan, and this has been led by Ivanka Trump. She had an op-ed the other day in the Wall Street Journal, must-read op-ed, Empower Women to Foster Freedom. And can you share with our audience, Jessica, a little bit about the Empower Women movement and the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative, or the acronym WGDP? Tell us about it.
Yes, absolutely. So as the nation watched a week ago today, the president signaled that he was going to be signing a presidential memorandum to launch this initiative. He did it on the heels of talking about how incredible our economy is in boosting women and dropping unemployment here at home to historic lows, more women filling the jobs than ever before. It's just been an incredible time in our history for women in the workforce, and we're taking that same mindset globally. And on Thursday last week, with the leadership of Ivanka Trump and supported by Secretary Pompeo, Secretary Ross, Secretary Mnuchin, and Acting Secretary Shanahan, the President signed, and Ambassador Bolton, the President signed the National Security Presidential Memorandum launching WGDP, the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative, aimed at empowering women economically in developing nations. This aligns with our national security strategy, and it will help prioritize and better spend taxpayer dollars in developing aid programs that we have throughout the nation.
You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network, Trucking the Truth Across America. We're with Jessica Ditto. She is the current White House Deputy Director of Communications, and she was a member of the Trump presidential campaign and transition team. Jessica, the initiative, WGDP, that's the acronym here for, again, I want to just say it, Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. The Trump administration wants to really coordinate America's commitment to one of the most undervalued resources in the developing world, the talent, ambition, and genius of women. So that sounds great. Everybody, I mean, who would not be in favor of that, right? I mean, everybody's got to be in favor of that. Coupled with the fact, Jessica, as you know, in the recent job numbers in 2018, 50% of the new jobs have been filled by women, right? So it's women. 58%. This is a huge number. And Jessica, right now in the what I'm going to call the Trump economy, women are employed in America at a higher rate than in the nation's history, right? Bigger than ever.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's very exciting. So that's why through the administration's efforts, not only are we working on initiatives and priorities to help empower women economically and in the workforce here at home, but this initiative, what it does is it has three pillars that are aimed to prioritize how we provide development assistance to nations. And the priorities are to help women prosper in the workforce, to help women succeed as entrepreneurs, and to help women be enabled in the economy. There are nations around the world that do not allow women to work in certain industries. They do not allow women to participate in the workforce, and that breeds conflict. That breeds instability. And so the administration, for the first time in government's history, we're making it a priority across all of our various mechanisms of providing aid to empower women economically. And these will have incredible impacts not only on the stability and the prosperity of these countries, but around the globe. And it helps. There's a direct correlation in preventing conflict when women are succeeding and thriving in their local economy. Our Council of Economic Advisors estimates that through this initiative, over the next 10 years, it'll produce $12 trillion in global prosperity and wealth. So it is an awesome opportunity, and we're incredibly grateful to the hard work of Ivanka, who's been putting this together for the last 2 years, working across the aisle. It is one of the hallmark initiatives in the White House that has full bipartisan support. So we're really grateful that on the heels of what was an incredible State of the Union address, one in which the president spoke to the nation from his heart about his vision for our country and the programs that we can achieve through bipartisan cooperation. Days later, we had representatives from both sides of the aisle cheering for the launch of this initiative.
So, Jessica Ditto at the White House, you mentioned that the initiative has the potential of generating $12 trillion in global wealth, specifically for women, right? And you're starting with an allocation of $50 million, is that my understanding, from the USAID fund. So how do you take $50 million and turn it into $12 trillion?
That's a great question. So what this presidential memorandum does is it establishes for the first time a facility specifically aimed at these priorities of empowering women in the workforce as entrepreneurs and breaking down the barriers. So this facility will have is starting with a new funding of $50 million, and then as the budget that the president releases next month will provide additional funding, as well as programs across government that work in developing countries, that work towards the aid of and assistance of countries that need development assistance. They will prioritize a certain threshold of funding in order to ensure that this program has the support that it needs. So it's making sure that we are putting our taxpayers' dollars to the best use. In addition, we're going to have private sector commitments. On Thursday last week, we announced that Pepsi was partnering with USAID, and UPS is signing an MOU to provide assistance. So we have major companies getting on board and anticipate to have more to announce in the coming weeks and months.
We're with Jessica Ditto. She is the current White House Deputy Director of Communications. Jessica, a recent study in Ivanka's op-ed said that a study done by the International Finance Corporation noted that there was a $1.5, get this, trillion gap between the available credit to female entrepreneurs given and what they need in financing to further their entrepreneurial activities. Why would there be such a gap, and how would that be bridged?
Well, there's a need to really, and one of the things that we're prioritizing is making sure that there's the cultural and social barriers preventing women from working in certain industries and from getting the kind of financial investment on an equitable rate as male counterparts do. That is something that is going to require the government's involvement in supporting countries that are willing to change those laws and willing to change the thinking of investment. And so we're very grateful that we had the support of the World Bank and the support of many government officials who are going to help us push that boundary and close that gap. There's a woman named Nino from the country of Georgia who talked about how the Trump administration has transformed the opportunity for women in her country, and the fact that now there is opportunity for success for women to be entrepreneurial and to have a pathway to growth and involvement in the economy. And she was praising the Trump administration for its commitment and work in this effort. And we want to see those stories around the world where we're helping women prosper and contribute to the peace and stability of their country and region.
Jessica, can you outline for us, because when I looked at this and having talked to Ivanka in the past, this seems like just one piece of her overall plan here. What is Ivanka Trump's vision, her overall vision with this initiative? Where does she want it to go?
Well, she certainly sees the potential. Her portfolio has been focused on economic initiatives, seeing women thrive here at home and abroad, working families find better opportunities to provide child care assistance. And so with this initiative, it's really important that people understand that it's fully aligned with the national security strategy, which the president signed and rolled out in December of 2017. We were the first administration in many years to actually have a national security strategy rolled out within the first year of its administration. And within that plan, the core issue of women participating in their economy was outlined, and it was a challenge presented to the White House and National Security Council to find ways to prioritize our resources better and focus on the areas where we can truly help women find the pathway in their own societies to really thrive. So the ultimate goal is to impact 50 million women by 2025. So we have an ambitious goal, but everything that this initiative is built around is built based on metrics, and it'll be measurable, and we intend to fully transform the way aid and development is provided in order to make this goal a reality.
Will any of the benefits of this go to American women?
So this is entirely focused on women in developing countries, and the initiatives that we're doing here at home include the child care tax credit, the push for paid family leave, which for the first time a Republican president called for in his State of the Union address, and so the president addressed that last week. So we're working on multiple fronts in order to lift up women here at home, working families. All American workers deserve the opportunity for growth and success, and we're looking to take that abroad as well.
But really the bigger picture here right now for the WGDP is on developing countries, war-torn countries, obviously, as Afghanistan and Syria and the refugees all over the world get back to some semblance of normal, Turkey, etc. I would see where the WGDP would be a tremendous asset in providing women with the empowerment, the education, the vocational training, and other things they need in order to prosper within the world. And this has never been done before. The other thing, Jessica, is it's gotten zero attention in the legacy media, like it doesn't even exist. Why?
Well, I would say one, it came right on the heels of the president's State of the Union, but we did have widespread praise from leaders in this space, experts. We had Condoleezza Rice give an incredible statement of support. We've had former leaders, and as well as the support of nominee David Malpass, who's been nominated to lead the World Bank. So we had a lot of support, and the Associated Press did a great write-up on this, previewing this launch. And we're hoping that more and more people start to recognize this brand globally as something that the country is doing to really be transformative in these developing countries. And so we have ambitions for that kind of awareness, and we'll continue to do what we can to help people see what's really going on.
And this is completely nonpartisan. This has nothing to do with politics at all. It is for the betterment of women and their opportunity to seek prosperity around the globe, especially in developing and war-torn countries right now. So we're very, very excited about this initiative, Jessica, and anything that I can do to help you get the word out, I will certainly do that. And I know that Ivanka has worked on this since she's been there really, really hard. And so now you can see how the original vision that she had when she came into the West Wing is starting to come into fruition, right?
Absolutely. And for those who are interested in learning more, go to wgdp.gov. We've launched a website. We'll be adding more announcements about the various partnerships and deliverables that are being stood up following this launch. This is just the beginning, and we are really looking forward to telling the nation and the world about its success as we get closer and closer to our goal of 50 million women.
Go to wgdp.gov, wgdp.gov.